another episode of Wicked Easy Cooking. My name's Chef Colin Roche, and today's episode is about wicked easy curried chicken. Super flavorful, lots of spices in there, a little bit of heat, but it's also quick. And there's options. You can put all kinds of other ingredients that I don't have listed here in it, as far as like vegetables and beans and different flavors. So I'll talk about those as we go through. So let me talk about the ingredients. First, we're gonna have some boneless, skinless chicken breast. And I've cut it up into about 1 to 2 inch cubes. That's all I did, no fat, no bones, nothing on that. And then we have all of our ingredients. I have the recipe here, which I will post at the end of this video, as well as down in the comments section. And I hope you try this. And if you do, please let me know in the comments section how it worked out for you and what substitutions that you may have done. All right, and before I even get started, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. Really appreciate it. And hit the bell button so we know when there's new videos that have been uploaded, and it'll give you a notification on that, which I do pretty much every week to 2 weeks. We put a new video out. Okay, so here we're gonna season this up with curry powder. We got curry powder here, 2½ teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of cumin, ½ a teaspoon of onion powder, ½ a teaspoon of garlic powder. We got some olive oil for saute. Then we're gonna add in onions. You could certainly add in carrots, red peppers, any vegetable you want. I'm gonna add in some broccoli. We've got garlic. I got 4 cloves here, but again, like all my recipes, if you like it, add more. If you don't, admit it, or just cut back the amounts. And we're gonna put some crushed red pepper flakes in there, give it a little bit of heat. Love that. We got chicken stock, 1 cup for this amount, which serves about 4 people. You know, 2 really hungry people, but about 4. Because again, you got about a pound, pound and a half of chicken breasts here. Then we're gonna add cornstarch to thicken it. I'm gonna put in some garbanzo beans. You could certainly put any canned beans, peas that you wanted to in there to fortify it, add some protein, you know, add some texture, help stretch the recipe. Kidney beans, black beans, any of those would be great. I'm using the chickpeas or garbanzo beans. Then we're gonna add in some frozen peas, fresher frozen peas. Sometimes I've added asparagus tips, chopped up green beans. Again, more vegetables you get in, better as for you and your family. So go wild. Lastly, the little trick, sour cream. This is what's gonna make it creamy at the end. We're gonna put this in like a liaison, a thickening agent, also gonna add some fat to a little bit of flavor, a little bit of body to it. That's gonna be right at the end, and I'm gonna finish with some chopped parsley here, give it some nice color. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, first thing we gotta do is take our chicken cubes and season it up. Some salt, black pepper, crushed black pepper, be nice in there, give it flavor, salt, and I'm just gonna put in here 1 teaspoon or so, but you know, do it by taste, whatever you think. I'm using kosher salt. You know, it's easier to get a little grip on it and kind of see how much salt you've added to something rather than that iodized salt, but that's fine. We've got our curry powder here. So I think a lot of curry powder, 2½ teaspoons, you know, make it a tablespoon, you're fine. Okay, we're just gonna kind of spread this around. I'm gonna stir it in just a minute. We've got our cumin. Love this. This is like chili powder, you know, right here. This cumin, it's real earthy. Love that. It gives a lot of depth to our dishes. Spread that in there as well. We've got our garlic powder and our onion powder. Again, we're gonna put fresh garlic, fresh onions in, but this is what's gonna adhere to the meat, kind of make that little spice crust on it. Okay, so really wanna season it up, that chicken. Great, it's neutral, it can really absorb these spices. So then just give it a stir. I'm gonna use tongs here because I don't want to get, you know, the meat on my fingers and contaminate it. Do your best you can. And then heat up a pan, you know, medium-high heat. Get that going. No oil in it yet, just get the pan hot. Hot pan, warm oil. And this is gonna be best for sauteing. So we put this on. Sometimes I'll put this in a Glad bag, a big sandwich bag, gallon bag, and I'll put all the spices in, and I kind of massage it around. And you could do this in advance if you wanted to, and the chicken will pick up a little bit more flavor. So certainly do this and have it ready. Another thing about this dish is when it's all finished, I love it because I can freeze it. Or you can use it for multiple meals. So it's really helpful in that area. So you may want to double the batch, make a big batch since you're already going through the process. But it does go pretty quick. All right, now I've got some olive oil here. We're going to put in, what did I put here? 2 tablespoons or so. So put that in the bottom, get that heated up. You could use vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever you have. I just happen to be using some olive oil. Clarified butter would work too. Now we're going to add this chicken in. You can hear it starting to sizzle. So we just kind of single row for the start. And don't touch it when you first put it in because everyone wants to move this chicken around. And what will happen is it's going to be sticking to the pan, but once it gets hot and it starts to caramelize, it'll release from the pan. It'll be easy to turn it over. So add these in. You can already smell those spices coming right up at you. Great. Love that smell. Okay, move that in there. We just about got it bottom filled up. Perfect. Okay, so we have that in there. We're going to let it go, 3-4 minutes. When the first piece releases, we're going to turn all the chicken. We'll stir it. I'm going to try to get it, a little brown on the edges. It doesn't have to be fully cooked. We're going to remove it, put it on a clean plate, and then we're going to not even clean this pan. We're going to put our onions and everything in here and start building our dish. Later on, we're going to add the chicken back in to finish cooking, and that'll be it. So let's let this cook, and we'll be right back. Okay, it's been a couple minutes. I think it's ready to turn. Unbelievable. The whole house is smelled with this wonderful, delicious aroma of these curry and cumin, garlic. There's no disguising what we're cooking today. Everybody's going to know. So you can see it's easy to come off now. Chicken is easy to turn. You see it's starting to get brown here. So now we just got to turn it all over, and then we're going to put it right back on the heat. Okay, we turn all these chicken cubes. Okay, we turn all these chicken cubes and then let it cook for another couple minutes on that side. And then we're going to stir the whole bit around, and then we'll remove this chicken while we finish our dish. So let's give that a couple more minutes on the heat. Okay, it's been a couple minutes on the other side. Before I stir it up, I want to give you a good look at this. Okay, now we can just stir it all up, get it all coated around, make sure it's, seared on all sides. So now we can remove it onto a clean plate, and we know it's not fully cooked. It will cook or finish cooking when we put it all back in. But for right now, I'm just going to pour it all out onto this plate. Okay, and we can see this thing's still stuck on the bottom of this pan, which is great because that's the foundation for our sauce. But first, let's put in our onions. We want to give those a jump start before we add in any of the other vegetables. So we'll stir them to get them coated with all of this spice mixture that's on the bottom of the pan. The onions are actually going to release some of their moisture, their juices, which is going to help, rehydrate that stuff on the bottom of the pan, deglazing, what we call that, the pan. It's all going to come up from the bottom, get mixed with those onions. This is our foundation of our flavor base for our sauce. Okay, we just want a couple minutes here just to let some of that moisture come out of the onions, let them collapse a little bit, and get them incorporated with the bottom of the pan. And then we add all the vegetables. So whatever vegetable you have at that point, they're all about the same density or thickness. I'm going to do broccoli. You would do carrots, red peppers, yellow peppers, whatever you wanted to put in there. Now I'm not going to put the peas in, or the garbanzo beans, because they've already been in the can or they're frozen, they're already soft, so we'll put those at the end. But any of your hard raw vegetables that you're going to be using, add those in right now. So put our onion in there, I'm going to put the broccoli in. Just to get it started, just to get some heat in there, some of that steam. Okay, just a minute or two. Just want to get it going here. Don't let it burn. And now I'm going to add in my garlic, all of that lovely garlic. Okay, and we'll even add in our red pepper flakes. Now I'm going to put 1/4 teaspoon, small amount, just so as an underlying warmth or a heat to the dish. But if you like spicy stuff, go for it. Put a whole teaspoon in there. Go wild. But I didn't like it too much, nor my kids. So again, 1/4 teaspoon, which is really just basically a pinch. I don't want them to really notice it's even in there. Just when they're tasting it, be like, oh, there's a little warmth on my lips, but I don't really want the peppers or the heat to jump out at them. But if you like it, certainly go for it. Okay, that's all incorporated. We're going to put it back on the heat. Onion here that jumped out. Put it back on the heat. Okay, now we're going to deglaze it. Get all that stuff off the bottom of the pan. Let me just show you that. You see that? See all those brown bits on the bottom? We're going to rehydrate those right now with this chicken stock. Okay, the liquid for our sauce. Okay, and stir it all in. Scrape up the bottom. You want it not to sit there and burn. You want to get it incorporated into this liquid. Okay, it's cooking up nice here. See the steam coming out of it. It's, the broccoli's starting to bring out that bright green, vivid color in there. The onions, everything's kind of simmering along nice. So now, before we add our chicken back in, we're going to want to thicken it. So I mentioned we have this cornstarch here, and you can't just dump that in because it'll clump up. So we have to, rehydrate it or dissolve it first, which we call a cornstarch slurry, because it's not really liquid. It's just kind of enough liquid just to dissolve it before we add it in. So in my stock here, I saved just a little bit that I didn't add into our pan. I'm just going to dump a little bit in there. The rest can go in. And then what we want to do is I like to use my finger. That way there I make sure I don't have any lumps stuck down the bottom, which may be if I use a spoon. This way here I can feel it. Now, if you just left that like that after you stirred it, it would separate again, right? It would fall out of suspension, and on the bottom would be all your cornstarch. So just before you're going to add it in, make sure you give it one last little rub, make sure it's all incorporated, and then add it in. So when you add it in, the liquid's got to be boiling to activate the starch. Just kind of move it all around in here, stir it, and let it come back up to temperature. Okay, it thickened up pretty quick, right away. It went in there. It's a good consistency for sauce. Now we can add our chicken back in and any, accumulated juices on the bottom of the pan. You see that nice color of the curry right here. Okay, the chicken's all back in there. Now we just let it slowly cook. So we can turn down our heat a little bit. Sometimes it's helpful to put a cover on it so we don't lose too much of that stock, that liquid through evaporation, and we just let it slowly simmer. So we'll go maybe 4 or 5 minutes, check that chicken. That's really what we're only waiting for. At that point, we're going to add in the garbanzo beans and our peas. We'll let that go for a minute. And then we're going to add in our sour cream, parsley, and we're going to correct for seasoning. So be right back. Okay, it's been cooking along here. Woo, look at the steam, look at the steam. All right, now we're going to put in our garbanzo beans, let's move those around. And I'm going to add in my peas. Now again, you don't want to add the peas too soon because, they're frozen, they've already been cooked. It's really just for color and to add another vegetable in there. All right, I'm going to just stir this, put the cover back on, another minute, and we're going to finish this dish and plate it up. Okay, I think it's about time now to add in our sour cream. Ooh, nice heat, because there's a lot of liquid in here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll show it to you and see. Okay, there's a lot of liquid in here, but this is where we're gonna add in our sour cream. So we add this in, and what'll happen is it'll break down, turn liquid, and blend in with our base here, and whew, it's gonna just add that finishing touch, that final liaison, the liaison finale, right? The last thing in here to help thicken it. And you don't want to put it in too soon. We don't want it to curdle, but it's gonna blend in. It's gonna, lighten the dish up a little bit. It's gonna add that body to it that we're really looking for. Oh, this looks great. But, whoops, had a garbanzo bean jump. Now I want to correct the seasoning. So let me give it a taste with a piece of chicken. It needs nothing. A little bit of parsley. I'm going to save some to put on the dish. That's it. Turn my heat down. All right, got a plate here with just some plain rice on it, a little rice pilaf I made for another dish. I'm going to put it in the middle. I'm going to make like a little well, a little volcano here, so I can put the chicken inside of it. This would go great with basmati rice, jasmine rice, one of those fragrant rices, or just white rice, anything you want. So I'm going to put some of this chicken right in the center, and then some of the broccoli. Again, if you had carrots and red peppers in here, it would be wonderful, give it a lot more color. But this is going to be good. Some of those garbanzo beans and peas. Okay, now I want some of that sauce. Put it right on the top there. Okay, now a little bit of parsley for finishing. Clean up my plate on the edge. There we go. Now, doesn't that look great? But as always, we got to taste it. That's good. You could probably even use a little more curry. Curry sometimes depends on the blends, all different types out there. Could sit in a cabinet, could lose some of its pungent. I can smell the curry in the air, but not getting a full burst of it. So you could add more curry or try to get more of a, a fresh one. But it's a good dish. Lots of vegetables in there. Serve it during the weeknights, quick meal, you need something, especially a cold night. This would be a wonderful dish for that. Try it at home. Let me know what you did, what substitutions you put in yours. Write it in the comments section. Let us all know. Okay? Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the bell so you're notified when new dishes, new videos are uploaded, which is like, once a week, every 2 weeks, somewhere in that range, we try to get a video up. And if you'd like to see something special, please let us know that too. Put it in the comments section or send me an email, drprofessorchef@gmail.com. Okay, until next time, bye-bye now.